And that
Okay.
way we can make sure to spread it to thousands of people. So over to you, Danny.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Danny. We had a little technical difficulty, so thanks for hanging in there with us. And tonight we are going to talk about drones. And thank you to everyone who has joined us live here. Um, Tonight I have a guest. I met Sam Scully on Clubhouse during the pandemic. And I also want to give a thanks to the co-founder and chairman of the board of WITI, Women in Technology International, David Layton. Thanks, David, for hosting us, sponsoring us tonight, and hosting both of us, actually. And I met David and Sam on Clubhouse. And interestingly enough, I'm Danny Smith Mathis, and I am the co author of Shut 'em Down Black Women, Racism in Corporate America and Everyday Struggle, How Toxic Workspaces Impact Black Women. So David came into one of my rooms on Clubhouse, and then that spiraled into where we are here today. Sam came into one of those rooms as well, and here we are. And then since then, Sam has become who I call the drone diva. So anyway, Sam is known as Sam Scully is known as Sam, and she's really passionate about the drone industry. We have another sister that I call my big sister, who's here tonight as well, who's a drone passionate, and I really am thankful, Sam, that you joined me here tonight, so we could talk about the drone industry as a profession. I know you were inspired by the 2019 Interdrone Vegas conference. That's where you joined the Women in Drone Association. She manages the UAS career interviews, and I think it's unmanned aerial systems. Is that it? What's
But
UAS?
that is, it's yeah, unmanned aerial systems, or now because we have so many women involved. Now we like to say uncrewed instead of unmanned. Uncrewed
Wow.
aerial systems, or like I say, you some people still say unmanned, but as
Yes.
we introduce it to more different types of crowds, we want to remind them that it's not about it being unmanned, it's about it being uncrewed.
Great, thank you. And the reason I know UAS is because I'm in the export explosive ordnance disposal industry, EOD. So I do lots of government contracts for a special a company that specializes in EOD, and we're dealing with UAS. So I said, is that the same acronym? So anyway, I know that you earned your FAA, your Federal Aviation Administration Part 107 drone remote license, and that kind of solidified your expertise, and you're the owner of DJI Mavic drones and FPVs for drone soccer. Sam has accumulated 30 flight hours. She got lots of hands-on experience, various applications. Her skills span multiple industries, like including real estate and construction, filmmaking, public safety, lots of things. And I do want to also thank you for your service. We have here in Sam a U.S. Navy vet, and she has excelled as a strategic drone consultant for the droning company, which is bridging the gap between clients and executives. And so tonight I want to talk a little bit about the origin of your dedication and your technical expertise, and just your whole passion for the drone industry, that makes you such a valuable asset to any organization. And she is also the recipient of the Beyonce grant from Baygood. And we want to talk a little bit about that tonight as well. So welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Danny. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to make
yeah.
one correction. Danny said, I was a recipient, definitely the recipient of the grant. But as far as my drone hours, how every time you use your phone and how it records kind of like you're listening. Um, Actually, Danny, I have over 500 hours of flight time. So
Oh, 500.
every time I take up that drone, I get, my flight time has been recorded. So
Okay.
over the course of 3 years, since 2021, it's been actually, like I said, over 500 hours. Because every time
Wow.
I take it up, it records it. Again, like every time you use your phone, whether you use your the sound part of it or you use the audio visual part of it, your phone records in amounts of increments. And so my drones records the amount of increments that I fly.
Great. Great. Thank you, Sam. Beautiful. All right. I want to go right into, just tell us, where did you start with all this?
You mentioned I started like, I was invited to a drone event. As everybody say, you go in Vegas, you'll talk about what you do in Vegas. But I'll give you a little bit. Went to Vegas for a drone event to a sister colleague with one of her tech shows, which was around drones, because my background is technology. And got to the show, and it was checked out. They had drones, they had things that I'd never seen before, and I had people who I was introduced to that basically made me want to do more. And so when I started to do more in that area, I started to see more about drones. And that basically what kind of got me in the area was I started to see more about it. And then not only that, just with David, the way I met David, Witty, Women, the prior name, Women in Technology International, I started attending events. And once I started attending events, I wasn't sure I was gonna be a drone pilot yet. I just knew I wanted to know more. And as I started to learn how to know more about it, that's when I kind of decided that I would get not an audience, but I just wanted to say that I would, pursue getting the certification because I didn't want to be ST, stupid in public. And I started to study, and then I realized, okay, I think maybe this is something I like. And as I started to study and get that license, then of course, when I bought the drone, that really put the icing on the cake. Because it's kind of like, getting a new Tesla, getting a new motorcycle, getting a new set of headphones. And for me, it was getting the drone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Tell us more about this grant that you received from Beyonce.
As I started to go through the area of, as you mentioned earlier, uncrewed aerial system, USA, not only did I, join Women in Drones, again, that was another recommendation from being part of Women in Drones that I met, David introduced me to Sharon Osmar. And as David introduced me to Sharon, Women in Drones had lots of events very similar to what we're doing now, especially during COVID. We started to have kind of like podcast, Clubhouse, Zoom meetings. And as I started to learn more, that's when, like I said, I decided to get this certification and decided to, figure out more where I fit in. And I fit in more in my background is construction, aviation, and engineering. So as I started to fit in and attend events, I started to go to those areas, and then I started to pursue what I want in those particular different sectors. And as I pursued those sectors, what I realized, like many sectors, there wasn't a lot of people who look like me. And also, I'm a bit of a tomboy. I was like, if they could do it, I could do it. And so, like I say, I purchased the drones, some from DJI, that's a Chinese company. But the stock is lots of money, over $30,000 a share. But they sell the most type of drones that you could buy when it comes to whether you're working in real estate, whether you're working in agriculture, whether you're working in the transportation industry when it comes to Southern California Edison. Those were the drones that are affordable when it comes to emergency services. These are the drones that are affordable that our EMT departments can afford. You have some drones that start the price of a used car. Let's say a used car for some people could start at $3,500. But some of the DJI drones, they start as low as $500. And you can do real estate, use it to capture film. You can do agriculture. I was out in California. That's where we grow our strawberries at. If you all like strawberries, it come from Oxnard. But you can use a drone to assist, you know, taking images of the field, taking images of the crop, or managing your staff. And so you have drones that do a variety of things, and that's why the price increases, depending on what you're using it for. Me, I'm still on I would say, with the real estate end and the construction end, my drones don't cost as much. But if I were to add more technology and use it for more resources, of course, that drone is going to cost me a little bit more of a new car instead of a used car. But a typical drone for some of our, beginner users out there, you say, well, Sam, I want to get a drone. Whether you buy it from an American company, Skydio, Matrix, or you buy it from a foreign company, DJI. It just so happened, fortunately, that the DJI companies, the drones are affordable. And they also have a great warranty plan. Because, you will fly a drone. I had taken my drone up. I was out doing an event a couple of weeks ago, and I was teaching students. But I had bees. The bees attacked my drone.
Wow.
So I said, oh, well, bees. Yeah, birds will attack it. Pigeons will attack it. And sometimes, occasionally, bees. So the bees attack the drone because it's foreign. It's in their sky. And they're like, we don't know what you are. And so with them attacking the drone, they attacked it, they stung it, they put their mess on the drone. For me, that meant I had to get another, like your camera lens. I had to get a new camera lens, part of it, because that's just some of the things that happen when you go up into the air. You have all kinds of situations. So your drone will need to be protected. You will need to have insurance, again, like driving a car. And you also need to have insurance for yourself and your equipment, your fleet.
So you got the grant to cover those expenses?
The grant to cover those expenses, and also got the grant to update my fleet. Because you're gonna have more than one piece of equipment.
Right.
At least three drones, a minimum.
Okay, so tell us about the process. Like, how did you find out that this grant even existed?
So basically, again, how we get emails and we're over inundated with not just emails, texts, and just so happened, this particular email account was looking through and it said, oh, by the way, do you want to apply for the Bay Good grant? And so, I was like, oh, okay, Beyonce, of course. So it had me 3 questions. What is your business? How will your business be effective in what you're presenting as far as my salmon drones? And then thirdly, if you were to be awarded the grant, what would you use it for? And so I spelled it out. And I'm not gonna tell everybody that I didn't use ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT to help me articulate. I use my own words of course.
Right.
But I had it or helped me articulate, boom, I'm Salmon Drones. We're providing drone services for aviation, engineering, and construction service. So of course it helped me wrap my sentence a little bit better than I would naturally say it. And
You should
I
have just called
submitted.
me, Sam. You should have just called me. I could have done it for you. Everybody don't know this, but I am really the chat GPT. No, I'm just kidding.
And so yes, and I submitted right around the time, last June 2023. And then again, check your email. I get an email from Baygood that says, oh, by the way, you were invited to the Baygood luncheon. So basically they have people submit their inquiries about the business. I'm along with 500 thousands of others. I submit it. I get the email to be welcome to by the way, we're coming to Los Angeles in Beverly Hills. And then once I submitted that was coming, I went to the luncheon. And out of about 800 people, we were having, like I said, great luncheon. They had 10 companies that they were representing, and I was one of those 10 companies. So Beyonce was not there herself, but Kelly Rowland was there, a part of Beyonce's entourage, and she had a couple of other special speakers there. Where we had some music, great lunch, and then they presented us with a check, 10 of us. So I took my $10,000 check, which I did I received that day. And I use mine mostly for marketing and actually for a drone coach. I got a drone coach because again, we all look in various business because we're in tech. Some of us might again do marketing, some of us might be doing sales, but it really depends on your industry. And my industry is crude. And so I accumulated a coach to help me manage my business and help me sell my business. And I'm still part of that coaching group today. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be having a drone conference in Vegas in about 2 months.
Mhm.
And I'll be part of that drone event where we're going to be working the conference floor, teaching other people about, how do you actually manage your drone business? Because I know Mr. Vita, who's on, is a coach. And what I did learn from her, because I've been acquainted with her for years, you have to step out of your own way. And so what I was trying to do with my life is, yeah, I know how to run a business, but do I know how to run a drone business? So let me get out of my way and let me, get some guidance, because I know we super women. I know that, but we cannot and know everything. And so that's basically what I did. I stepped out of my way, and that grant helped not only me afford a coach, but also I got some new drones as well.
Great. Sam, stepping out of your own way, I really applaud you for that because you actually did your own professional development. It had a personal impact on you. You did your own business growth where, your whole client base now increases because of this. Is a lot of long-term benefits, right? Your brand recognition, your media coverage. I mean, we're here tonight talking about it. I don't know how many people are actually going to see this eventually, but really, really thank you for your tenacity in doing all of this. Talk about the overall drone industry. I know there's lots of application for drones, commercial expansion. You mentioned real estate, construction, and infrastructure. One of our participants here, Ethel Water, she's new in drones, and by the way, she is the Flying Shiro. That's her handle. What is your handle, Sam?
Dad, you asking me or are you asking somebody else? Me, right?
I'm asking you, what's your drone handle? You have a
My
drone
drone handler is Dronus.
Dronist. Okay,
Jonas.
well, that's it. Okay, I didn't know. I know you as Dronist, but I didn't know. That was on Clubhouse, and I thought, well, everybody does something special on Clubhouse. But yes, you kept that. Okay, Dronist. I got it. Okay, cool. So that's cool. So Sam, talk to us a little bit about the application across industries that you're interested in, and specifically, I think you said construction. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Construction is definitely my love. My father was in construction. My brother is an engineer, mechanical engineer. But one of the other areas I like is natural disaster. As we all know, some of us who live in LA and California, we have fires, but then you have some states like Texas, New Orleans, that might have some other type of natural disasters. And so I gravitated to natural disaster because for me, I like natural disasters, not because they're natural disasters, but because it's a time to build a crew, kind of like in the military, kind of like being in the National Guard, and specifically our young people. By getting our young people involved, meaning that, let's say we bring them, we of course we got to train them before we take them on a natural disaster tour. But we train our young people, and they, first of all, they get a chance to travel, leave home, be exposed. Because, like I say, in LA, it's mostly sunny. They don't see some of the things that Texas, New Orleans, or other countries might experience. And they get a chance to, not, like I say, not just travel, but they work on a team. And then, but now not only are they working on a team, but they're using drones. So you got three things going there. You got this young person who's now working with a group of people that they never met to help save lives using drones. The secondly, they're traveling to states or areas or countries that they've never been exposed to. And I'm not saying they're going to be living in the Marriott. They might be living in a tent. We might be living in a tent. Of course, we all prefer the Marriott. But when it comes to a natural disaster, we all know that there might not be water. There might not be electricity. There might not be plumbing. So as part of that natural disaster team, and that's why we want our younger people. They can hike, they can get on these 4x4s or whatever you call it, with their backpack on, and they can go cover this natural disaster. And not only that, they can meet with other people who they've never met with before. And like I say, the main event is saving lives. So that's what I like about natural disaster response, because I feel like, yes, we can definitely do natural disaster response within our own cities. But when it's time for us to mobilize, like the military, National Guard, or any organization where you're coming together, because they even have vehicles built that can handle the terrain, whether it's a Jeep, 4x4, but a lot of these vehicles are equipped with aerial technology so that they can get their jobs done. But like I say, the main thing is they're coming together. And so that's why I am interested in natural disaster, because I feel like that's a way to bring our community together. And it doesn't really, and I just say young people because I think I'm getting older. It doesn't have to be young people. It can be all people. Because the thing about it, when it comes to a disaster, we all have something to contribute. They might, the only reason I mention them a lot is because they can get on those mopeds and they can climb those hills. But I'm gonna be in the back with my my backpack, my drone. I might not be climbing the hills. They might be taking me on the moped up the hill. But everybody has something to contribute when it comes to a natural disaster. Look, please don't let people, I don't want anyone to get offended when I say young people, all people can be part of saving a life.
Well, young is relative. Like 80 is sounding really not so old to me anymore. Well, I'm pushing 70. Ethel and I, as I'm not trying to call you out, but I'm pushing 70. And Ethel, It's
Yes,
all,
yes. So I'm looking
I
at
know,
it as
that's
a
what
way
I
to
said
include
close
our young
to it.
people.
But anyway, I'm closer to 70 than I've ever been. Let's put it that way. And so the next decade just doesn't sound so old to me. So old is definitely relative. But with two new knees, I definitely wouldn't be part of. I'd be the natural disaster. Trust and believe. But anyway,
Also,
but
there's like lots of natural disaster free training when it comes to working with the fire department, the police department, the helicopter department. They still need people who have, like myself, drone experience. I had to do a CPR class. I wasn't CPR certified, but these are the additional skills. You not only learn how to fly an aircraft, like we like to say, but you're learning other skills because you're also going to, like I said, learn how to save lives. Because if I'm out there with you and we're on a run, whether we're doing an inspection or whether we're just taking a drone up in the air to take an image, I still need to be able, just in case, if because we all know in California it gets 80, 90 degrees, just in case somebody has a sunstroke, you still need to be on your job. You know how to fly a drone, but you need still know how to fly a life. So you're not going to just be flying instruments. You also, like I said, you're going to be getting other skills, especially when it comes to, saving lives. CPR. I can't think of other skills right now because I know there's some nurses on the call, but there's other things you need to know how to do other than fly a drone. You need to be able to save a life as well.
so Sam, quick question. If I am a young person or a person who of any age really like that wants to, well, let's say someone that's coming out of high school and wants to go into college and wants to go into drone. What's that path now?
That looks like, first of all, hopefully their school, some of the schools in LA are, they have after school programs or other programs, but now they're starting to add drone technology. So the path looks like, first of all, getting engaged. If your school is offering it and it's free or it's not, find out, get a grant. But expose yourself, first of all, to the drone technology. Secondly, again, like many things we learn using YouTube or using online programs, expose yourself. I got a new drone the other day, an Autel drone, and I I don't know how to fly it. I mean, I know how to fly it, but
Oh, okay, go ahead.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on Autel, which is the company AUTEL. I'm gonna look at their website and see if they have lessons. And then secondly, I'm gonna go to YouTube because YouTube University is free because sometimes companies want to charge you. But then I'm gonna teach myself drills. Like Venus and what's our tennis pros? Venus and
Serena.
Serena. When they go out on that golf course, they ain't just going out on that golf course hitting a tennis racket. They are doing drills. Our pilots, our policemen, our any of us, our doctors, our nurses, everybody goes to workshops. So you're gonna surround yourself, like I said, YouTube by doing workshops that are free, some that may cost, but you're always gonna learn your drills. And then once you learn how to fly your aircraft, and I like to say doing the drills, because the drills are gonna put you in situations where you haven't been put in. And so you need to know how to handle yourself. So the more you go out and fly, it's the confidence. You've got to build your confidence. And when I don't fly, my confidence is here below. But when I'm flying, and I'm not saying you got to fly every day, I'm just saying you got to get out, just like you have a car, a motorcycle. You've got to get out and get on it or use it. Because the more you use it, the more you're surrounded by situations, the better you know how to handle yourself. Because yes, I get nervous. I'm flying over people. I'm flying over cars, machines, wires. And the more I go out and fly, the better I'm able to handle myself. So back to your original question was, Danny, How do you do it? You learn. You actually you get a drone. You do not have to buy an expensive drone. You can buy a $40 drone where you can fly it in the house. You can learn how to do it, but you have to learn how to use your aircraft, and you have to build that confidence. And then once you build that confidence, then you could go out and say, Danny, Miss Jovita, Miss Patricia, Miss Carmen, oh, I have a drone. Oh, of course, you got to get a license eventually. But I have a skill set and I know what I'm doing. And sometimes people will fly drones for years and they don't get a license. And you don't necessarily have to get a license unless you want to go commercial, meaning that you're going to start making money using your drone. But initially, if you just want to be a VO, which we call it a visual observer, you would just be the visual, again, like when you get on the airplane, how many pilots do you see? You see two, right?
Yep.
So same thing with a drone. You need two pilots. You need the PIC, that's the pilot in control. You need the VO, that's the visual observer. So the visual observer can be your checkpoint. Let's say you're walking and you're droning, they might have to tell you, watch that curve, watch that pothole. There's an airplane to the left. There's a wire to the left. There's a tree.
Like a co-pilot. That's like a co-pilot.
You're basically your co-pilot. So so you definitely want to invest in having a partner, because it's not the kind of business as I tried myself to do by myself. You still need somebody to be, that co-pilot, because you don't get on your 9 or Southwest. You don't just see one pilot, right? You always see two.
That's right.
So the same thing with a drone. You want two people.
Yeah. So where are the women in the drone industry? Like where do they go to be comrades? Where do they go? Where's everybody going? Where is it at? Where's the party at?
She said women?
Women. For the women in the drone industry. Where
Well, I found from with the Witty introduced me through to Sharon Rossbar. And so initially I would say the associations. She has women in drones. So initially that's where I started. And then after being part of the association, and it is a dude thing. Dudes got drones, like dudes got fast cars, motorcycles, guns, or whatever, But initially it was the association. And then from being on part of the associations, I started to go to conventions. And not only by being part of the conventions, but also being part of the conferences itself, being a speaker. And that's where you find us. But we are few and in between. I'm excited that I'm part of it, but ladies, we are still needed. Like all of the industries, we are still, our presence make a difference. And because, I remember there were times you could count the women. You saw 9 women today. Now I think we've gotten up to about 100 when we go to conference and we participate in events. Because like I say, dudes, they like, computers. They like systems. And women, we still have to do what we do. We like systems, and we just have to come together and collaborate with other women in the same type of space, Danny.
You see STEM and STEAM putting drones into their programs now in education?
Yes. Now, just like when, like I say, now because I work in an after school program, in a program called ARC, when these students see drones, they are like totally excited. It's like, giving them yogurt or giving ice cream. So they're totally excited. So now that most of the schools are equipped with tablets, most kids have tablets or they have laptops. So now they're adding drones where they're actually buying inexpensive drones. I have to do a program in about 3 weeks. And they add inexpensive drones where we're all, everybody's learning how to use a drone. We teach them, of course, safety, Safety is the major concern because remember, a drone is not a toy. It is a robot, and it is an aircraft, and it is an airspace. So airspace starts from A to G. Airspace A, that's where you have your United Airlines. They can go up 16,000 feet or more. Us little drone pilots, initially, but at 107, because you have different licenses, 107, we're only allowed to go up 400 feet. So that's a big difference. 16,000 feet, 400 feet. So you have to know the rules, but as you start teaching these young people, because again, they all want it when they get a drone, they want to see how fast they can go. That's their first thing. How fast can I go? And I was like, well, it's not about how fast you can go, it's how safe you can be. Because if once you put that aircraft up, whether it's a $35 drone or $3,000 drone, if that drone falls down on a car, let's say you're in your car, you're driving in LA, your traffic as usual, and something hits your windshield, that will, freak you out, alert you. I was actually at a reggae concert a couple of years ago, and because I know drones, I heard it. It was in the trees, and sure enough, they lost control of the drone, and the drone, I just so happened to move. It literally drops in my lap. If had I not moved, it would have sliced up my face because of the propellers. And so when the drone drops down, you see a drone, you don't pick it up. It's like a dead animal. The people specialize in that, you let them pick that up. But if a drone falls in your space when somebody loses control, whether you're in a car or whether you're at like I was like an event, a reggae concert, and it falls, you don't pick it up. You let the person, find that drone, because the other thing about a drone is it's like it's got a GPS. You can always locate it.
Okay. So Sam, we're going to wind down, and as we do, I want to know, you mentioned something earlier about school systems, and I think it was important to note that you suggested that if a school system didn't have the drones in their curricula, that they should find a grant and write it into and get it. How would anyone go do that? Like who's giving the money for this? Is the government giving the money for this, or private foundations? You're on mute, Sam. We can't hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
They've got to have that extra tenacity, because we know our teachers are already overworked, but they've got to have that extra energy to, first of all, look for the grants. It's a team effort. It's like any grant maneuver. You decide you want to have volleyball, or you decide you want to have soccer, and it's not like these teachers like, okay, I'm gonna become a soccer teacher, I'm gonna become a volleyball teacher.
You're on mute again, Sam. Sorry, you're hitting the. Yeah, you're good.
I got it. I'm okay. But they have to have a team to help them, locate these STEM grants. And what I've learned from being a profit business, you also have to be nonprofit to get these grants too sometimes. But once they secure the grants, you want to be able to have that curriculum, because yes, we want them to learn how to fly the aircraft, but we want to tie in what does it mean to fly a drone with the regular curriculum, with science, technology, engineering. You can tell me A. What's A? I think A.
Arts, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
And mathematics.
STEAM.
So we want to be able to tie the appliance, applicably, again, I never can say that word. Applicability to the drone, why you would use it for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So you want to tie it in, because our young people or our students, they're not dumb. They are like, they of course, like I said, they're excited about flying these things, but as you bring a program onto your school or to your, I don't know, summer camp, you need to be able to tie it into what it means instead of just, oh, I want to fly a drone. So with me, I typically I use cinematography. We learn how to use the drone, but when I say cinematography, when we go airborne, I have them doing video. So we're doing video just like we would with our cameras, or when we used to have our little, I don't know if y'all remember our shoulder video cameras. When you take the video VHS,
Yeah.
or the little small 8mm. So once you've collected all that footage has to be edited. So once we've gotten all that footage, I've got to literally bring the footage home. We save it on these little, give me a minute here. I have these additional little tools here. This is like a tool that I hook up. Then I have the memory card. Got another one over here. I got these memory cards that go part of the drone. And once I download the footage, I got to use another program to edit that footage. And then we've got to put together like a movie, like a Matrix. We've got to put it together. We've got to put the sound behind it. We've got to take out, oh, Danny was over there. We might take out Danny because she was doing this, and we might just want Danny standing up. So once we clean up the footage, then we're gonna basically create a mini movie, and you got to keep it under 2 minutes. Because as we know, people don't like to look at long footage. So we've got to clean that footage up. And so that's where the cinematography come in. You have, like I say, the people who do the footage, who collect the footage with the drone. But then the back part is you got to bring that footage in, clean it up, add audio, add music, add, just like if we were doing a deck for PowerPoint or something like that.
Wow. My last question is, what's Sam's future in drone? Where are you going with all of this?
Future is, I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'm in the Valley, and we are preparing for the Olympics. We have the Olympics coming out in 2028. And so with that being said, we are finally building above ground trains, meaning not underground like New York, Chicago, or I think L is on top. But we're not going to be high up in the air, but we're doing above ground trains on the streets. So my goal is to work with, again, bringing us women in to, provide more service and let them know that we do this, but to be part of these projects because they're going to be building this train from North Hollywood through Burbank, through Glendale to Pasadena to downtown Los Angeles. And so my part is to bid on those projects and get on those projects and provide, services. Bidding takes a lot, but excuse me, bidding takes a lot, as far as reading those RFQs, requests for proposals. But you can also still go in the back door, meaning like I go out, if they're building a new school, they're building a new building, I go out and I drone that event or that building, and I show them that footage that they don't have, and that's how you get in the door. But like I said, the goal for me is to be on these projects because as long as they're going to be building in my community, and we got the Olympics coming here in the next 4 years, I want some of that money, and I want us women and us drone pilots to be on these projects.
Well, that said, I'm putting a pitch in for myself as your proposal manager, since that's what I do 9 to 5. Okay, so anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. We can talk offline, but let's go ahead. And anyone else that wants to come in and get these government contracts, let's do it. Let's go. So, Sam, thank you so much. Any last thing you would like to say that we haven't said? Anything I haven't asked you that you wish I
want to
had
say
asked?
that the average age for being a drone pilot is 55. Okay.
Whoa, all right, for
Y'all
the
heard
young
me?
55.
The average
You hear
age for
that?
being a drone pilot
Yes.
is 55. So
Wow.
so don't think, because as we get a little gray hair here, there, or whatever, that this
Here,
is
there,
my industry,
everywhere.
that The average age is 55. And so this is the industry. They need us as seasoned professionals because we are, like you say, Danny, you do what you do, and you don't just become perfect. You bring your perfect from your other careers. So this group of being a drone pilot, AI pilot, because eventually they're going to be flying them straight from their computers.
Wow.
You're not going to be outside. So
the
door is open. So that's what I would like to leave with everybody. The door is open. Don't think just because you're in your 60s or your 50s that this is a young people thing. It's not a young people thing. It's a people thing. Because everybody can contribute and save a life and provide a service.
Wow. How can people reach you, Sam?
What's up? Did you hear the last word, Danny?
How can people reach you?
Y'all know LinkedIn. I'm addicted. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'll type my my email. I've had the same telephone number. I've been here. As a matter of fact, this is my month. I've been here for 24 years. I've been here because of the internet for 24 years in the same house, in the same city. And you can always find me by my phone number because it's never changed.
How about do you have a website?
Yes, and my website is Sam and Drones. Actually,
Sam.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead. Do that for us.
Just
Thank
go
you.
like when you're speaking and on camera, like this.
Yeah. It's all right. We're gonna give you a second to look down so you don't make any typos.
So,
It's
but
all good.
yes, and then also, and if you got some young people, just say you say, well, Sam, I ain't doing no drones. You have some young people, take them to drone events. Encourage our young people, and you have to expose them because like we're going to be having something at Fullerton College this weekend, which is here in outside of LA, but Fullerton College, we're going to have drone soccer. We're going to have the Star Wars costumes because our young people like that. But we're also going to be teaching drone racing and all of these things. So take your young people or your other people, and again, they don't have to be young. They can be disabled, but take them to these events so they can see. And this is also, let me add, when it comes to the disabled in the community, that it is another area where disabled, yeah, your mind, your fingers might get used, but if you got an arm that's free, you can still be in this industry because we still need all type of people. So I don't want people to be disencouraged that, oh, this is high tech. You got disabled, you got young, you got all kind. That this is the industry that is open doors because drones are not going anywhere, and it's just another tool, Danny. It's like our electrical cars now. It is a tool.
Got it. And robots. Yes, because I said it is a robot. Sam, thank you so much. We want you to get in touch with Sam on LinkedIn. I'm sure all her contact information is actually on LinkedIn. So Sam Scully, SCULLY is her last name. But
My website.
Dronist at samandronis.com. I think she put that in the chat there. And also